Welcome, and thank you all for joining us today for our panel discussion on Tech Talks by Intracom Telecom, minimizing CAPEX, maximizing your returns, highest performance 80 gigahertz radios. Here to represent from Intracom Telecom is their Director of Product Line Management Wireless Access, Ioannis Tenidis, Director Channel Sales North America Region, Randal Montoya, Sales Director of Wireless Access, Charles Loverso, and Senior Pre-Sales Engineer, George Harlaftis, and Sales Marketing Lead, Markela Gordu. If anyone has any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to add them into the chat and they will be addressed at the end of the session. George, you are up.
All right, thanks, Dawn. So, guys, thank you so much for joining our webinar. My name is George Harlaftis, Senior Pre-Sales for North America Intracom Telecom out of the Atlanta office. For those of you who may not be aware of our brand, we are a global telecom infrastructure vendor. We have been in the industry for more than 45 years. We have more than 1,600 employees, 14 operational centers in all continents, 4 R&D centers, and 26,000 square meters of proprietary manufacturing facilities. Next. Markela, next, please. Okay. So the wireless network systems is our primary core offering. We do have other things that we offer as part of the solution, such as AI, IPTV, or even services for energy solutions for data centers. But again, the wireless network systems is the primary focus of our portfolio. Now, there are 3 major categories that you see here: the ultra-fast millimeter wave, as well as microwave FWA radios. And this is basically our point-to-multipoint solutions. This is where we connect the base station to the CPEs. And Charlie Loverso is going to be more than happy to answer any questions you may have about these products. You will find his contact info at the bottom of the presentation. The next one is the long-range E-band and transport access FWA radios. This is our E-band. Previous slide, please. This is our E-band transport and access, the GX80 and all of our high-capacity bandwidth E-band radios. Randy Montoya is going to talk about that section. And the high capacity that you see on the top right, high capacity microwave transport, this is basically all of our microwave radios that include the split mount as well as the full outdoor solutions. Next slide, please. Now, I also want to mention a few things about the network management system that we have. This is basically everything that combine the custom platform that we have to combine all of our products. And it's called UniMS. This is a network lifecycle management system, and it includes the radio planning module, the actual implementation, how you implement the network, how you can compare between the planning phase as well as the actual implementation, and of course the maintenance part of the network where you can push software updates and upgrades to your network. Last but not least, I want to mention the high quality engineering services as part of our technical support and maintenance that we offer. And these are all complemented, they're complementing our radios. And of course, we work very closely with Winncom Technologies to offer you the best services for all of the radios that you may be interested in. Next, please. Now, all of these great solutions, they actually come with references. So we may be a late entrant into the North American market, but we have been selling all of these solutions for decades now. And some of the success stories that we have, you can see the great tab there on the left that shows 52 network major networks for the FWA, the point-to-multipoint solution. So we have like 20,000 FWA hubs installed, more than 600,000 FWA CPEs. And on the right side, you can see 50 plus major networks for the point-to-point, 140,000 to be specific microwave radios, and over 40,000 millimeter wave radios. Next, please. Now, the magic word is BEAD. Of course, we can help you with BEAD funding. We can help you with the access part, with the backhaul part. Randy is going to talk more about this. But there's a great place where you can actually use the Intracom radios as part of your BEAD solution. That's the mid-mile, middle mile, as well as the CIA sites, the community anchor institution sites. Those are your hospitals, your libraries, your schools. We'll be more than happy to show you how you can connect those sites with high capacity bandwidth, with the dual band solutions that can reach 20 gigabits. Again, Randy is going to go over those solutions in more detail for you. And all of these are BEAD compliant, as I mentioned. Next slide, please. And actually, at this point, I would like to pass the mic over to Randy Montoya. You guys stick around towards the end of the presentation. We do have a promo for this webinar, so it's really worth looking into it. Randy, I hope I didn't take much of your time. Back to you, man. Fire away.
All right, appreciate that, George. Appreciate the audience time. We'll hopefully deliver some impactful information here that will help you in your decisions regarding 80 gigahertz E-band solutions, as well as multi-band link solutions. So we'll provide you an overview of the GX80 quickly. Obviously, you could download all the specs associated with the product, and so we'll just highlight those. We'll emphasize some of the key aspects that set apart the GX80 from the rest of the other options and E-band options, as well as MBL options that are out there in the market. And we'll give you some examples of how these advancements in our E-band technology are able to extend 10 gig distances, either in a standalone fashion or in a multi-band link scenario configuration. Because our MBL is powered by the highest gain, system gain E-band radio, the Ultralink GX80, we believe our MBL, and we hope to prove in this presentation that our MBL is a more perfect union between a E-band technology and a microwave technology. We'll represent some of these advancements in extended distances and how they translate into CAPEX and OPEX savings associated with standalone GX80 links, and possibly as well as MBL link configurations, and possibly remove the need for multi-band link solutions because of the performance and advancements of the E-band radio. And finally, we'll touch on the benefits of Winncom and Intracom team working together in support of all your planning, design, quoting, BOM, and pricing efforts if you choose to proceed with the Intracom solution here. Okay. So why choose Intracom? I'd like to point out, eight items here that we believe should be in the would be part of a selection criteria that would present Intracom in a very favorable means. We manufacture. We're a European Union of manufacture. We have over 20 years of R&D and innovation in millimeter wave and microwave. Okay, we manufacture all our radios. We have two factories, and we're building a third just to keep up with the demand associated with the products itself. We have a unique portfolio. Both we provide point-to-point solutions as well as point-to-multipoint. As George mentioned in his previous slides, we have great and numerous customer references and many networks throughout the world. Another unique thing about Intracom is we have our own antenna manufacturer. So we're not reliant on a third-party source manufacturer to help us deliver the radios and coordinate the antennas. We basically provide both the antennas as well as the radios and those antennas include fixed wireless access, our 80 gigahertz antennas, and microwave antennas. We offer tier 1 support out of the US. They're out of our US headquarters in Duluth, Georgia. Excellent CAPEX, OPEX savings, and we're BEAD eligible. So we are currently working with many opportunities for BEAD, and if that interests you, please do contact us, and we would certainly help and provide more detailed information as to how our product can fit in the middle mile CAI access, as well as backhaul for fixed wireless access locations. Okay. So we'll go ahead and start a short video here of our GX80, just to highlight some of the key aspects of our GX80 platform. So one thing you'll hear about us, our radio, is it's high performance, delivering 10 gig capability. It's supporting in the needs of high capacity, where you would have higher needs for capacities, both where as a substitute for fiber. We'll emphasize the needs and the emphasis of extending 10 gig distances as a result of our the highest system gain in the market and the spectral efficiency associated with our radio. Very much the system itself supports carrier grade Ethernet functionality, as well as some layer 3 advanced synchronous capability and protocols to support multi-band configurations, as well as CPRI. Very advanced network management capabilities within the radio or within our UniMS, and the fact that you can really leverage the abundance of spectrum in the E-band to deliver fiber-like capacities using the GX80 platform. Okay, next slide. So kind of to summarize here, the product highlights of the GX80. It delivers 10 gig capability in a 1+0 configuration. It can do this both in both a 2000 megahertz channel or a 1.5 gigahertz channel. The 1.5 gigahertz channel represents, the advancements in the spectral efficiencies associated with our radio that exceed that of many of the other E-band options in the market. We'll demonstrate the highest system gain at 10 gig, that being the radio operating at 128 QAM in a 2000 megahertz channel or a 1500 megahertz channel. We have multiple antenna options, 20 centimeter, 30 centimeter, 60 centimeter, and recently the 90 centimeter antenna. We offer these in single or dual polarization, and we also offer these in a dual band antenna configuration. We have carrier grade Ethernet functionality built within the radio that you would expect in a carrier grade product, including hierarchical QoS, Q&Q capabilities to integrate the radio and operate as a transparent bridge through the network, and support of jumbo frames. Finally, one of the unique features associated with the GX80 is the onboard spectrum analyzer that helps detect, alarm, and monitor for co-channel interference, adjacent channel interference, and potentially fast fading. We have 3 combo ports within the radio to support all the integration needs associated with integrating the GX80 seamlessly into the customer network. Okay. Next slide, please. As a result of the high system gain and associated with the radio, these can translate into 6 different components that contribute to a lower total cost of ownership when applying the GX radio for your high capacity needs. These includes reduction in the need for spectrum, reduction in installation costs as a result of smaller antennas, fewer radios. As a result of the fewer radios, we can reduce your power requirements associated with a multiband configuration. When we reduce the amount of materials needed to install, that reduces shipping costs and logistics associated with managing multiple components on either the roof or a tower. In speaking to tower, there's a lot of cost savings because of the reduced number of radios required at a tower, the number of towers needed, as well as the size of the antennas. So there's a great advantages associated with delivering the highest system gain and performance in E-band. And these other benefits include, as a result of in some cases, not requiring a multi-band configuration and goes specifically with a standalone. This reduces your overall RF planning costs as well. Next slide, please. So let's take a look at the generations of E-band radios, going all the way back to 2004. As you can see, the initial radio introduced in 80 gigahertz was a 1 gig radio operating a very primitive modulation, BPSK, very large bandwidth channels, 1400 megahertz. Then we moved into 2 gigahertz, the second generation radios, offered, moved up in the overall modulation scheme, moved up from BPSK all the way up to 32 QAM. As you can see there, the blue line represents the max system gain at the max capacity. And then the red line in this represents the overall system gain in its lowest modulation and or lowest if bandwidth adaptation is implemented. So we go to the third generation, is where most of the popularity is today, to deliver high capacity fiber-like speeds at 10 gig. When the third generation radios were introduced, you can see that the overall system gain at max capacity, that is 10 gig, dropped by over 20 dB. The 64 dB system gain there is probably the highest of any third generation radio, and 93 dB at the top there on the red line represents the the highest system gain at the lowest modulation and or lowest when bandwidth adaptation is implemented. As we move forward into the fourth generation, this is where the Intracom GX80 came in. We created that inflection point in the marketplace by delivering 4 to 10 times more power at 10 gig, at delivering and implementing that in a 128 QAM in a 2000 megahertz channel. But we also are able to extend those distances and by implementing and delivering 95.4 dB system gain in its lowest modulation. We'll speak more to that important point of that 95.4 dB system gain in our lowest modulation and how that can attribute to very nice cost and CAPEX savings in the form of avoiding the need for multiband in some cases. Next slide, please. All right, so let's take a look at the specs of various options you have out there. This slide represents pretty much the most of the E-band radios that have been deployed in the U.S. market. What's very important here is to note that in order for the customers to leverage the abundance of E-band spectrum, enabling the highest RF capacities, we need to counter rain fade, okay? That's the most sensitive aspect associated with E-band technologies. The traditional way to do that is basically minimize the link distances. In a lot of cases when 80 gigahertz was first introduced, they started shrinking those distances because remember that lower system gain when third generation E-band radios were introduced, the system gain at 10 gig was significantly reduced from 84 down to 64 or 60 dB. Well, then most recent, the alternative to counter these rain fade and still extend distances is to introduce multiband, both limiting the distance as well as or using the alternative multiband do not address the problem with those. They do not address and they do not extend 10 gig distances. So to extend 10 gig distances, you need higher system gain, RF power. And this graph here shows at all modulation levels, we're delivering, somewhere between 6 to 10 dB more system gain at every modulation level, which translates into 4 to 10 times more power. So we are able to extend 10 gig distances while also maintaining great capacity and availability at our lowest modulation. So you can really extend distances and still deliver very high bandwidths when it's operating in its lowest modulation. Next slide, please. So in summary, there are many manufacturers, you have many alternatives out there today to deliver upwards in the area of 10 gig capacities. What the difference that the GX80 brings into the picture, we have the industry best system gain at 10 gig, which ultimately enables us to deliver the industry best 10 gig distances. It's all about RF power. We're delivering 4 to 10 times more RF power to extend 10 gig distances, and that applies in every range region for any SLA criteria that you may have. Next slide, please. So here's an example of just taking, let's say, a GX80 radio operating at 128 QAM in a 2000 megahertz channel. This represents the distances the incremental distances you can attain by leveraging that system gain advantage. As you can see there at the bottom at 3 nines of this chart, the 3 nines, you can extend distances in a 25 millimeter rain rate area from 2.8 all the way out to 4.3 miles. If we wanted to increase the overall SLA that you would offer to your customer and or within your design criteria, we can elevate, take a look at a 99.95% criteria. We're offering, we can extend the distances from approximately 2.3 miles all the way out to about 3.4 miles. You can see here that this basically represents how you are able to leverage the RF power to extend 10 gig distances while maintaining and delivering the SLA requirements of your customer. Next slide, please. So because we're offering a 95.4 dB system gain in our lowest modulation level, we have hitless ACM supported in this radio. Now what the key difference is here, as this slide will present, is most of the manufacturers, we're all in the same area in terms of overall system gain at its lowest modulation. There are, of course, some that are slightly lower than the Intracom product. But the key difference here is that in our lowest modulation, we're delivering 1.492 gigabits, which is essentially 3 to 4 times more bandwidth than the availability of other alternative E-band manufacturers. What this translates into is the industry best distance and capacity. We can extend distances further than any other manufacturer while delivering 1.492 gigabits in our lowest modulation. And that is, of course, when it's encountering fade. Next slide, please. So how far can we extend distances now? And these basically represent, the red line there represents the ultralink distances that can be accomplished in our lowest AC, when the radio is adapted to its lowest modulation level, still in a 2000 megahertz channel. As you can see here, you can extend the reach of an 80 gigahertz radio from about, when you account for 4 nines availability in 25 millimeter ITU range region. This slide represents 4 nines extension, incremental distance of 3.1 all the way up to 4.25. So essentially another 1.15 miles of extended distance you're able to accomplish as a result of the GX80 performance in its lowest modulation. And this incremental distance, you know, it applies to every different, whatever your SLA requirements are, from 4 nines all the way up to 5 nines. You can see you will achieve incremental distances as a result of the higher system gain. Thank you. Next slide. So not only can we extend distances, you can also take that extra system gain and translate that and actually utilize that in the form of reducing antenna size. Each antenna, when you go from a 1-foot antenna to a 2-foot antenna, you're basically your dBi gain in that antenna is 5 dBi per. When you go from 1 foot to 2 foot, that's 5 dBi antenna. That's 10 dBi for when you go from a 1-foot link to a 2-foot link in 80 gigahertz. Well, as I mentioned, we have 10 dB system gain advantage over some manufacturers in the industry, and therefore we can deliver the equivalent performance and or better utilizing one size lower of antenna. What this results in, if you take into account all the shipping, the weight, and the annual lease costs associated with towers, we can reduce antenna. We can reduce in some cases from 2 foot down to 1 foot, attributing a 7,305 overall total cost of ownership, a 3-year overall total cost of ownership. And when we reduce from 1 foot down to 8 inches, we can you could also attribute these cost savings of $2,500 when you reduce from 1 foot down to 8 inches. So not only can you increase distances, but you also take that 10 gig capability and reduce antenna sizes in cases where you cannot accomplish, where in some cases you want to keep your tower cost least lower, or you want smaller antennas at a particular customer site. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, our GX80 also powers our MBL solution. Our MBL actually operates very seamlessly with our OmniBass BX 11 and 18 gigahertz frequencies. This is accomplished by distributing the GX80 distributes traffic in a seamless fashion between the 80 gigahertz channel or over a 1+0 18 gigahertz or 11 gigahertz channel, or a 2+0 11 gigahertz or 18 gigahertz channel. We accomplish all the bridging and QS synchronization within the GX80. Essentially, the OmniBass BX behaves as a wireless cable between the E-band radio and the microwave radio. Our MBL can be configured either in a dual band configuration here, and keep in mind, in that dual band configuration, you're going to get 10 dB more 4 to 10 dB more system gain than any other multi-band radio on the market. Or we can offer that in a separate antenna option, again, still delivering seamless distribution of the E-band traffic over the E-band channel, a single 1+0 E-band channel over our 1+0 or 2+0 microwave channels. Next slide, please. So as we talked about here, this represents the distance and capacity, the aggregate capacity of our GX80 in a 42 millimeter ITU range region. We could deliver 1.5 gig all the way out at 8.6 miles. At 99.39s of availability. And as you can see here, because of that high system gain at 1.5 gig, you can see here the max distances of a competitor's MBL are less than that of an Intracom standalone radio. And although we're delivering that capability using a single standalone GX80. So what this does, it represents the opportunity to deploy the GX80 radio at very extended distances up to 8.6 miles in lieu of using a competitor's MBL solution. And then as we go forward, if you want higher, if your SLA requirements are more stringent, and you want to have that safety blanket to keep your connectivity up and operating, we deliver an incremental 784 megabits using a 1+0 configuration, And then following that, we have a 2+0 configuration that would increase the overall aggregate capacity, achieving just a little bit over 22.5 gigabits, all at 8.6 miles in a 42 millimeter per hour ITU range region. So in a nutshell, you can see here how we can translate and take that, leverage that E-band, our system gain powered a system gain of the GX80 that's powering either the standalone or MBL configurations to deliver highest capacity while still maintaining your overall SLA availability, whether that be 3 nines, 4 nines, or 5 nines. That GX80 will always come in and power that MBL's performance and provide incremental distance and or capacities over our competitors. Next slide. How we translate these, if we take a look at, say, range region K, 42 millimeter per hour, at 10 gig, a GX80 can deliver at 10 gig at 4 miles, up to 4 miles, and 1.5 gig in its lowest modulation at 8.6 miles. If we look at some of the alternative MBL options in the market, you can see there that the 10 gig capability of that MBL is 1.5 miles or sometimes 2 miles less than what our standalone GX80 can provide. Again, this is all a result of that incremental system gain. Then we look at the need to basically counter fade. So we this 1.5 gig in our lowest modulation, we're still delivering that at 8.6 miles, whereas our competitors at 1.5 gig, their distance is still less than what the GX80 can provide. If we look at what these overall costs are, because we're delivering these distances and capacities using a standalone, this represents a significant CAPEX and OPEX savings over our competitors' MBL. So in other words, here you can take a look. You can utilize the standalone GX80 in lieu of utilizing competitors' MBL that can attribute to incremental OPEX cost savings here, up to $13,000 for one competitor's MBL, and or up to $5,200 in another MBL competitor's MBL. All in all, the standalone GX80 will provide superior performance while still meeting the overall SLA availabilities required for your customers. Next slide, please. So we also have our own online planning tool that supports all the ITU rain methods, rain models, etc., to basically go through go through your planning efforts. This is called our Planet. It's an online planning tool. We also have a radio planning tool integrated into our UniMS, our management system. And so on the left there, this is what your report would look like if you plug in your GPS coordinates, and your antenna size, the size of the channel, the link distance, and it produces what your overall aggregate capacity would be at every modulation level. Next slide, please. So finally, as George mentioned earlier in this slide, for opportunities out there where you have multiple GX80s and or MBL implementations, we have our UniMS is a full cycle automated management system. What's key about this and unique about our UniMS is it provides all those FCAP capabilities that you would need. But in addition, it has what's unique about this UniMS is it has its own radio planning tool. So when you design a radio using the radio planning tool, and you implement that in the field, you can go back. The system itself will go back and audit if the radio is performing to the design that was produced in the radio planning tool. So this is why we call it a closed loop in a full cycle automated system to help you deliver and maintain the optimal performance of those radios through our UniMS capability. Next slide, please. So I think right now we'll go into the Q&A session. I'm going to look through the chats here to see if we have any some of the questions that have come up. So we're going to open it up now. If you want to open the mics, Don, to or I guess the chat line, sorry, to any questions that we may have in the field, from the field and the attendees, and we'll go ahead and address those. On the call to address our Q&A, we have our Senior Director, Product Line Manager, John Tenidis, our Senior Director and Pre-Sales Engineer, George Harlaftis, and myself. So I'm going to look through the chat list here to see if we have any questions. It looks and appears like, yeah, there's a few questions here. Stand by. All right. One question I see here is, can Intracom team provide path design reports for both standalone and MBL paths? Are Intracom path designs provided using PL5? Okay, Mr. Customer, we are able to deliver path design reports. We typically can do that within a 24-hour period for either our standalone and or an MBL configuration. And indeed, you could use our online planning tool to provide and do those path design reports, and or we could provide that in a PL5 format as you would need. All you would need to do is provide us your GPS coordinates, elevations, and we would deliver that PL5 format. In addition, as needed, if you have your own planning tool, we can take those, we can provide our PL5 files, and you can incorporate, basically compile those PL5 data files into your own planning tool and produce your own path design report if you're more comfortable with that. Let's see if I see other questions here. This might be a question for John Tenidis, our Senior Director of Product Line Management. John, the question that the customer is asking, can you support a dual transceiver version E-band radio in your Ultralink GX80? And if so, what is the capacity? John?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Randy. Well, yes, indeed we can do. This is a product that we have branded as Ultralink GX80 Dual, and it has dual carrier capability, operating with 1 GHz channels, and the total capacity of this device is 15 gigabit symmetrical. Out of 1 GHz of channel in XPIC configuration ranged in this 2 transceiver unit box, we can deliver 15 gigabit symmetrical capacity.
Perfect. Thank you, John. See, I don't want to miss any questions here. Another question here, John, maybe you can help with. What is the largest antenna size supported by the Ultralink GX80? And what are the antenna size options for a dual band configuration? John, maybe you can help with that question?
Yes, Randy, I can do that. Well, first of all, I have to remind to the audience that Intracom Telecom probably is one of the very few, maybe the one which has its own factory for producing antennas and our own R&D designing those antennas, located in European Union in Italy. Therefore, we have the full flexibility and capability to design all sorts of diameters and types of antennas. Diameter starting from 20 centimeter and go all the way up to 90 centimeter diameter of antenna. These are for the single band antennas, whereas we have dual band starting with 60 centimeter diameter and equally XPIC antennas with 30 and 60 centimeter diameter.
Perfect. Awesome, John. Thank you very much. Let's see. Another question here. Where do we find the most current promo information for Intracom? Okay, good question. Well, at the end of this, I think George mentioned at the onset of the webinar that as a result of your participation in our webinar, we really appreciate that. We want to extend a special promo code that you will be provided in an email, and that will give you some incremental savings associated with the GX80 and/or NBL solution. Additionally, Winncom and Intracom are jointly providing additional promos on extended warranties. So please consult your Winncom representative for information regarding the extended warranty promotions that are available that would extend your manufacturer warranty up to 3 years or as much as up to 5 years. So thank you for that question. Let's see. I guess this will be the final question. I think we're going to be running out of time here. Let's see. Does Intracom have can provide any use case studies? Can Intracom provide customer references? Okay. Good question. Thank you very much for the question. Use case studies. We do have a few. Actually, there are a few on our website. You please do contact your Winncom rep or myself, George Harlaftis, for these use cases. But we have different use cases that represent the GX80 in a standalone configuration, extending distances all the way out to 8.4 miles. We have one use case is actually an NBL configuration, delivering 9 gig, 8 to 8.4 miles in an 84 millimeter per hour rain region. So this GX80's performance is field proven and is documented in some use cases that are available on our website. And then, of course, yes, we do have customer references, both US and worldwide, both in the fixed wireless access as well as in our point to multipoint portfolio, that being the GX80 Ultralink and or our Omnibus microwave product. So I think that concludes the questions. Dawn, did I miss any questions that came in through the group here? Maybe we could take one more if we have. If not, I want to thank well, I'll let you answer that question.
Yes, we actually do have one question and one comment. As far as case related, we have one customer who said they have online a GX80 link at 4.2 miles with two 2-foot antennas. They have operated flawlessly, typically running 8 gigabits and up on both directions. Took a chance on Intracom due to a better modem, thus giving better power, and they'll be installing more this fall. Very happy customer. Thank you for that. And the last question is, what temperature are the radios rated at? Can they go up to -40?
It's -40 Celsius or Fahrenheit? Let's go. Well, George, I think, or John,
Celsius.
maybe you can address that question.
Celsius.
We certify the product down to -33, but we guarantee that the product will remain operational down to -50 degrees centigrade. We have some of our deployments in very cold environments. Certain of these devices, Ultralink GX80s, are deployed in your neighboring country, in Canada, on the northern part, and very cold place that you can imagine. Our guarantee for operation is a key selection criteria for those customers.
Thank you, John. And then thank you to the customer for the pitch there. Greatly appreciate that. We're pleased that you're satisfied, and we have met your expectations regarding performance. So thank you for sending that nice note. Greatly appreciate that. With that, I think we can conclude the webinar. The Intracom team here, myself, George Harlaftis, John Tenidis, Markella, we'd all like to thank you, as well as the Winncom team, for taking the time this afternoon, or if it's morning for you all. We greatly appreciate your attendance, and please do reach out to us if you have questions or need any additional information on the product itself. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Bye. Thank you for participating.
Thank you.